Hi guys, it's Mrs. Simpson with SMS PLS, and today we're going to be making a volunteer service project activity. We're going to be making some fleece dog toys. There's two different variations I'm going to show you. One of them involves braiding, and the other just involves tying knots. Both of them work pretty well. So let's go ahead and begin. You're going to need some good sharp scissors. You will possibly need some masking tape, and you will need 3 pieces of fleece fabric cut into lengths of about 2 inches wide by about 24 inches long. You could go a little bit longer than that. I wouldn't go any shorter. So the first method I'm going to show you involves braiding. So the first thing I have to do before I can start to braid is to tie the end. I'm going to gather all 3 of the strips together in my hand, and I am going to loop it around and make a nice tight knot. I'm going to pull it tight. Now, some of you guys may have braided before, but if you haven't, I'm going to show you a simple way to practice. So I'm going to lay my fleece out this way with the knot facing up towards the top, and I'm going to have each of my 3 strands sticking out the bottom. This is where the tape can come in handy. If you're not an experienced braider, having your work hold still will probably make it much simpler. So I'm just going to run this piece of tape and I'm going to tape my project down to my table. I'm going to use masking tape, something that won't hurt the finish. Okay, so now let me go ahead and show you the process of learning to braid. So you can see that I've got 3 pieces of fabric. The red one, the blue one, the white one, and I'm using really contrasting colors to make it a little easier to see. So everything involves crossing pieces of fabric over whatever piece of fabric is in the center. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to take this white piece on the right, and I'm going to move it over the blue piece, and now the white piece becomes the piece in the center. Okay, now I'm going to take the piece on the left. I'm going to cross it over the piece in the middle, and now look, the red piece is now in the middle. I'm going to go back over to the right side. I'm going to cross my fabric over, and now the blue one's in the middle. I'm going to cross the one from the left over, and now that one becomes the one in the middle. And I'm going to keep going, crossing over, crossing over, crossing over. And I'm going to do that until I get to the end of my fabric. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and then you can join me at the end. All right, once I've gotten to the end of my braiding and I just have a little fabric left, I have to put another nice strong knot in the end. I'm going to take this over my hand and I'm going to place my good strong knot at the other end and tie it. And you can see my end isn't super tidy. I think I'm going to take my good sharp scissors and I'm just going to snip this off so it has less of a tail. I'm going to unstick my tape from the table, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. I'm just going to clean this up and snip it off so it's a little more even. And now I have a tug toy that I can use to play with my dog. Well, let me show you another method. So maybe braiding is kind of a challenge for you, and I'll show you something that you can choose to do instead. So if braiding is posing a challenge for you, you can go ahead and take your 3 pieces of fabric and just like I did with the other ones, start by making a knot in the end. This time, instead of braiding, I'm just going to keep making more knots to make a knotted dog toy. And this one won't be as long because the knots take up a little more room. So just every couple of inches, I'm going to take my dog toy and I'm going to make a knot in the fabric. And actually, I think my dogs might like this kind better than the braided kind. And I'm pulling them nice and tight in between. I'm trying to keep them fairly close together. And about halfway, I kind of switch the end. So I'm working towards the other end. I'll pull a nice knot. think I can get one more knot in here. It gets harder by the end. All right, and there you have it, a knotted fleece dog toy. And I'm just gonna kind of smush my knots so they're spaced out a little bit. And I'm gonna do just like I did before. If I don't like the ends being uneven, I'm gonna snip them off so it looks nice and tidy. Discard that excess. And now I have my choice. I've made a knotted dog toy, and I've also made a braided dog toy. All right, looking forward to donating these to Midwest Animal Rescue. Go ahead and finish your projects, and we'll talk about how we're gonna get these donated.